What's up, y'all? I'm here a little early. Melanie, what's happening? Alexander, Seiji, what's happening, bro? Alexander again, what's happening? Miss T, how you doing? O'Neill said, well, I thought I harassed you enough to get a shout out on Patreon, so I'm just going to have to continue that live with all the annoying rookie questions I have. O'Neill, shout out to O'Neill. Sorry I missed you on Patreon. Bro, I'm writing it down. For a shout out for the next Patreon live video. O'Neill, shout out. Man, I got to get that OBS software, y'all, so I can have pretty music that sounds good here. Oh, celebrities in the house. Mr. Joe Falisco. What's up, y'all? Yeah, baby. What's up, Andrew? Is it freezing up for everyone or just Ed? All right, peace be with you, brother Joe. Love you, bro. Love you. I'm actually wearing the pants you got me today, bro. Joe got me these pants in Germany when I didn't have any pants. What's up, Travis? Adam West. He says, shout out to Joe Falisco from Adam West. All right, guys, we're going to jump in. I'm going to answer a couple of Patreon questions first, and then I'm going to get to y'all. So if you could, hold your questions for just a little bit, and I will get to them right away. So, yeah, it's cold in New Orleans, probably not New Jersey cold, but it's too cold to sit out there and have a cigar. All right, so let's see. Here are some of the questions. Alan Mahan. What's up, Alan? He can't be here today, so how you doing? And thanks for these are questions from people that couldn't be here. So from the Patreon channel, and if you're new here, Patreon is a separate site. There is a paywall, but it's only $1, and I do behind the scenes vlogs and tell stories and talk about things that I probably wouldn't talk about on YouTube, or maybe not quite as openly. And also we do lessons there every now and then. So yeah, you're supporting the cause. So if you're into it, check out my Patreon site. It helps me out a lot and helps these videos happen every single Friday for free. Subscribe today if you're just tuning in to the channel. Over 450 plus free harmonica lessons and other content. Alan asks, hey, yo, Mooncat, what is your favorite best meal you cook for friends? Probably jambalaya, because you can feed everybody with that. It's easy. Amy Lynn asks, have you ever been rudely told by someone that you have to expand your horizons as a musician? I had to deal with this recently in a Facebook harmonica group because I said that Terry McMillan was, in my opinion, let me turn this down. Hold on. Here we go. Because in a Facebook harmonica group, because I said that Terry McMillan was, in my opinion, a bluesier harmonica player than Little Walter, and I shared a Garth Brooks song with him in it. Even though I like some Chicago blues, what he was telling me to expand to, it all just sounds the same to me. Okay. Well, first of all, a lot of the things that I thought people were telling me, and this is just me, I'm speaking to myself, that I thought were rude were actually being told to me out of love. Now, that doesn't mean that some of them weren't told to me rudely, and maybe some of the people who were telling me those things didn't even mean it out of love, but I actually found love in it. So I've been told the opposite too, Amy. I've been told that my horizons were too expanded, that I needed to zone in on just one thing, right? A little bit better. And over the years, all of it has been good advice. So today on the stream right here, we got Joe Falesko. That's my father's hat, Winslow. That was my father's. And Winslow, I love you. We got Falesko. So when I think about music and when I think about art, not music, I have two harmonica players on either of my shoulder, right? I got a Joe Falesko here, and I got a Howard Levy. And the Howard Levy is saying to me, Jay, you can do anything, right? You can do anything. And then the Joe Falesko is saying, Jay, should you? And both of them are so valuable to me, right? Like both of those personalities I need to listen to, right? And so that's like, that's where I'm at, right? So Amy, listen, I'm not going to get involved in who's the blue man. Blues is relative. Whatever you feel, right, is what's okay. Now, listen, the thing is, try to keep an open mind. Even when people are coming at you, those people can help you. Not only can they motivate you to show them, like out of spite or whatever, ego, but sometimes we got to listen to the message and not the messenger. Sometimes the messenger is trying to be cool, and we're so defensive about something we don't even know that's going on inside of us that we rebel. I know I've rebelled against Joe before, Falesko, and then 20 years later gone, oh. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? It was like a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. All right. Anyway, look, the one thing I know more for certain, right? I know this for certain is that I don't know. And hopefully later I won't know too, right? Like that's what I really hope is that, I continue to stay teachable, right? Whatever my opinion is now, I know from doing 20 or 16, 17 years of YouTube that a lot of the stuff that I was saying in the beginning, I wouldn't say anymore. My opinions have changed. So I hope that my opinions continue to change, right? That's what I hope. And I think I've seen a lot of my friends grow too over the years. Okay, let's get back to the questions. Again, try to hold your questions until I get through these. Micro Demo. Hey, Jay, it's months that I try to understand the Sonny Terry chugging this song online. There isn't a lesson to cover that or help me. Could you please give me a trick or a suggestion? Yeah, I got a suggestion for you. Contact Joe Falesko. Contact Tom Ball. Contact one of those guys, right? Sonny Terry style is so idiosyncratic, and I have not spent enough time with Sonny to give you a definitive answer. But I know for a fact Falesko has. All right, Joe, I hope you're still here and you can get in touch with my boy, Micro Demo, right on this. And Micro, you need to reach out to Joe. He would probably be happy to give you a lesson or point you in the right direction. Certainly a lot better than me. Jack asks, when you play, you share with the audience Ra and the serpent on your forearms. Would you mind sharing the significance of these esoteric emblems entities have for you and their significance? I'm not a harmonicist. Okay, I got you. Right there's Howard Levy. Right there. No, right there. Right there's Howard Levy. Right there's Joe Falesko. No, it's positive and negative, right? And those are just older archetypes than the ones that I am currently digging on. Okay. But they're older historically as well. Okay, so let's move on. Graham says, hi, Jason. I know full well it's not your main thing, but could you tell us something about the difference between diatonic and chromatic harps? Okay. I asked the wife for a chromatic for Christmas. Fun. for no other reason than curiosity, but have no idea what I will do with it. Okay, for example, do you play bends in the same way? Does the chromatic lead more to pucker rather than tongue blocking embouchure? Those sorts of things. Thank you for being such a leading light in the wonderful community that is harmonica. It is a wonderful community. It really is. Yeah. Okay. So chromatic. So it's different in that you can easily get all of the notes of the chromatic scale. And I'm going to go ahead and say with better intonation. However, it doesn't bend as much. It bends a little bit like a microtone. Some people say they can get even a half step. I'm sure Winslow will chime in here. But it really doesn't bend like a diatonic. You don't need to overblow a chromatic because you can just push the button. It's in the key of C. Those are like all the white keys. And then when you push the button in, you get the black keys. You can either tongue block or lip purse on a chromatic. Just like diatonics, some things are going to be way better tongue block, and probably some things might be a little better lip pursing, depends who you talk to. Anyway, what else? So my recommendation would be if you're a blues guy and you're just getting into chromatic, check out some of the third position possibilities that exist right away. Listen to some of the early Little Walter stuff, Carrie Bell stuff, especially George Harmonica Smith, William Clark, Dennis Grunling, Mark Hummel, Kim Wilson. All of those guys play chromatic mostly in third position. Some of them play it in first and second. Paul DeLay played it in a variety of different keys. And then there's the jazz guys. So you got William Gallison, Hendrik Murkins, of course, Toots Thielmans, Larry Adler, classical and jazz, Robert Bonfiglio, Chris Bauer. There's so many amazing. I know I'm going to forget a bunch, but all of those guys. Winslow Yerxa is looking for students right now. Winslow is one of the best chromatic teachers on the planet right now. Winslow is available to teach. When I need a lesson, I frequently go to Winslow, or well, I haven't done it frequently, but I have gone to Winslow, I think twice. And that's formally. I've had many conversations with Winslow where I learned things about harmonica. And basically, if I don't know something at all, whether it's about music or harmonica, I basically just ask Winslow. He's available here. There's different ways to get in touch with him. I'm currently pretty booked up as far as students go. So I would absolutely recommend Winslow for chromatic or diatonic as a teacher. Let's see, I got, Winslow, send me your contact information or type it in there. Okay, let me get back to the questions and let's get this music going again because it's such a nice thing. By the way, I'm using the Sunshine Groove backing track in D major by Sebastian Zunino because it relaxes me. These chords relax me. All right, I'm almost through the questions already. Dear Dr. Jason, I've never been called a doctor. Either you already answered the question before, there's a question before it is a question, or I can find it on your channels. I only want to thank you. My brain runs a little slow after a coma in 2018, but you are the best coach with effective results. You and your great music make me a lot of fun, deep thoughts and progress. Thanks. Good beams to you all. Johannes, bro, thank you, man. That's so sweet. I'm sorry to hear about the brain injury. You might even find that some different parts of your body, your heart, or different parts of your brain may even engage stronger than before because they're getting more focused because that one area is injured. So let's try to find something good about it. All right. And I know that's easy for me to say sitting here, but I've had to do that in other areas of my life. All right. So now I'm going to get to the questions in real time. There's already a ton right here. So let's go back and see if I can find any. There's a lot of shout outs. Okay, wait. Mark Newman said, no pressure, Jason. No pressure for what? I'm trying to figure it out. All right. I'm going to breeze by that one. All right. Let's see. Okay. Ed says it's not freezing up. Oh, do I move my head when I warble? Yes. Yes, I do. There we go. So I go. The reason I do that is, well, I mean, I first noticed that most of the guys that I was listening to, Cotton and everybody, when I would go see them play, they were moving their head. And then later on, I started doing it just because that's how I thought you should do it, and I didn't know why. But later, I realized I wouldn't have to change the way I was holding the mic. So if I move the harp, now you can get a different sound by moving the harp. It's more of a wild sound. Right. It's a little crazier. Junior Wells used to do that, and you can do it too. You can do both. Right? You can just throw that in once a night or 2 times a night for fun. But I find I can control it better and move around the trills. Right? It's a little easier if I move my head instead of the harmonica. It might take longer to learn, but then in the long run, it's easier. Thank you for a great question. All right, let's see. Is New Orleans a sunny day? Yeah, it's pretty nice out today, actually. Not bad. Miss T says, evening, and I can't hear you, but no matters. One question only coming from Sweden. Are you coming from a musical family? Nope, not that I know of. I don't know if any of my ancestors played music. There is a Ricci who was a famous classical violinist. My stepdad, my father-in-law told me about him. And I don't know if I'm related or not. I'm in the process of doing a lineage of my family right now. So yeah, the Winslow, that's my dad's hat. I think I mentioned that already. That's really the only thing I own. That was my father's. All right, let's see. Do you have any daily routine for playing harmonica? Well, I probably should. I don't. Right now, I will pick either scales or an arpeggio, maybe a song, a standard or something, and that's what I'll do for 5 or 10 minutes. I'm definitely running daily routines every day with students in terms of arpeggios, root notes, scales, all that stuff. So I'm constantly thinking about that stuff and even playing it. But as far as pushing myself to grow, I don't do as much of that as I need to. And every time that I do, I get a lot out of it. So, yeah, it's really, really good to sit down. And what I do is I look at a scale and I look at the order of the notes, and then I take them out of order in predictable mathematical ways, and then I run up and down them. I do that same thing with arpeggios. I might take a song that I know the melody to, and then look at the chords behind it, and then try to play the song without playing the melody by arpeggiating the chords in different ways, and that's been helping me to understand and play jazz a little better, and blues too, and every kind of music, country music, everything. It's all the same. It's all the same stuff, guys. Yes, I know Amy is on Modern Blues Harmonica talking about Terry. That's okay. We love her. Let's see. Oh, I just lost my place here, guys. Sorry. Okay. Joe just said that he has 3 different Sonny Terry lessons available for download. How cool is that? You just download them. That's good. Hey, yo, PG, what's up from New Hampshire? All right, hold on. Let me get back. All right. Here, I'm back where I was. Nice to meet you, Bo Peng. Let's see. Greetings from Hungary. I'm going to ignore that one. What's the best stuff for chapped lips? Oh, man. I'm going to give you the answer my best friend's dad says. Rub some dirt on it, bro. You got to keep playing. I don't know. If somebody knows how to deal with that, it's never been a problem for me. Sometimes if I don't play for a little while and I start playing a lot, right there gets red. And really the answer is maybe a little bit of rest and then more playing. And that's just what I know. Yeah, somebody said Jerry Ferraro has some stuff too for Sonny Terry. Joe's got the downloads though. So Sonny. And Joe is Joe's the dude, bro, you know. Sonny Boy 1 or 2. Oh, damn, bro. I'm just going to be honest, right? I know I'm going to get in trouble with some people here, but man, 2, number 2 for the lyrics, for the humor, okay, for the theater, right? You know, man, Rice Miller all day for me. Like, I understand there wouldn't be a 2 without a 1, and that, you know, Lil Walter got a lot from John Lee Williamson, 1, but man, the lyrics and the humor, he's so funny, right? Like, so I don't know. For me, it's 2 all day long. Yeah. All right. It takes more than an empty tomato can to get Joe's sound. That's all I'm going to say. Once they named me, I wasn't. By the way, I've said it before. That is a beautiful screen name. That is a beautiful screen name. I get that. I've done a lot of LSD. Anyway, yo, Mal, what's happening, bro? Shout out to my main man, Mal. All right, what's up, Alexandra? Mark Newman, Sonny Terry, and Phil Wiggins. Piedmont-style blues harmonica is in a world by itself. Phil Wiggins is not doing so well right now. I just played on a benefit album for him, or a benefit song that they put together. So we're trying to raise money for Phil right now. He's a really, really nice person, too, and a wonderful player. I saw him last summer with Corey Harris. I was just blown away, the two of them together. You know, Andrew, I didn't cut it. You can't really cut dreadlocks, but I had some that broke when last time I dyed them. They got a little weak and broke. All right. Amy, you're all right. Look, Amy, don't put any. Let me tell you a story, y'all. This is a story about Jason's bag of ones. All right. And I'm telling you this story, Amy. I used to be that. I had this guy in my life, right? That was like, kind of like a mentor. And I would have 100 people say something nice to me and one person say something mean. And I would take that mean thing and I would carry it around with me all day. And he called it Jason's bag of ones. And that bag got heavy. I had collected thousands of ones over the years, right? I finally trying to learn to let that bag of ones go, but don't think I don't understand. All right. We're not going to talk too much more about that. Chromatic bends more, Winslow says. Of course you would say some stuff like that, even though you know. Even though you know, Winslow, you know what I'm talking about. It bends more, huh? All right, baby. Okay. Sure. Is the Lake Champlain monster a dinosaur or an interdimensional being? Great question, Pete. I'm going 100% with interdimensional beings. As a matter of fact, I'm not saying that it can't take physical form. Okay, I'm not saying that. Okay. And I'm also not saying that there are not undiscovered prehistoric animals. I think there are. Okay. But I am going with Champlain, Nessie, and I'm even going with Bigfoot, okay, as being interdimensional beings. Okay. What dimension that is, I don't know. Okay. But I think the evidence that we have with these long footprints that just disappear in the middle of nowhere lead us to that. And then all these x-rays we've done of Loch Ness, all this stuff, right? You know, let me start the music over. Here we go. If y'all getting sick of this music, let me know. Anyway, that's what I'm going with. I'm going with interdimensional beings. All right. Let's see. Okay, Winslow says nearly all the notes bend down more than a semitone. So they bend like a half step. Okay. All right. Right, Winslow, or maybe, right, like if you take the wind savers off, or I don't know, man. You know what I mean, bro. You know, Winslow. I know you're right because you're never not right. Okay. But you know what I mean about them bending and not bending. You know, bro. Lindsay Mercer, yo, shout out. Yo, Jason, Lindsay here. Great seeing you the other night. Bro, it was so good to see you too. That was a good hug too. Your skills as a wingman are equal to your skills as a harp player. Oh man, it's easy with Joe and Wayne, bro. It's easy. Thank you though. Any tips for playing Little Walter's Walking On? It seems to me he's playing two different harps in this tune, but I don't know. By the way, wrote you on Skype. That's from Taro Hood. Man, I don't know. Ask Joe about that Little Walter song. I'm not sure I know that Walking On one, and it might be two different harps. I know in a bunch of stuff he does that. He'll switch. I can't help you there. Sorry. Winslow might know. Falisco might know. Some other people here might know. Is chromatic worth learning alongside the diatonic, or are they two different languages? To a degree, they're two different languages. All right, to a degree. In other ways, they're pretty similar. But like they're both basically laid out to play a major scale. Okay, and then you can change it. Winslow says, I think of them as sister instruments. So chromatic is based on the middle octave of the diatonic. That's what I was trying to say. Sort of like shared genetics, but different personalities. I'll go with that. Thank goodness. Thanks, Winslow. Love your blues. Harmonica for Dummies. Yeah, it's a good book. And I'm glad they got the right guy to write it. Andrew Parker, or can you talk about learning chord harmonica where you utilize its sound? Do you jam it sometimes or wait to fill a specific space? Okay, I don't know if you mean actual chord harmonica or playing chords on harmonica. So if you mean actual chord harmonica, I had a few lessons with Wally Peterman, who's my favorite chord player I've ever seen, and actually the one who gave me my chord. Right, it's right here, and I don't play it nearly enough as I should. I probably pull it out 2 or 3 times a year and try to get back what I used to know, and then I stop. So that's not very good. So if you're talking about using chords on diatonic, more and more as the years go on, I want more and more chordal playing, because that's one thing that the harmonica does well is impartial chords. Right. I like that a lot. I like that sound. And, when I was coming up, I didn't want to do that too much because I thought everybody else was doing it and I wanted to play fancier. Right. But now I want a little bit more. I want a little of both, actually. So anyway, let's see. My dad was the world champion on a chromatic and was tutored by Larry Adler. I knew that about you, CK. You mentioned that to me. That is absolute craziness. Winslow Yerkso says, at Stephanie Meyer, seeing a keyboard is actually good graphic representation as long as it doesn't prevent you from thinking about the harmonica. He's talking about the chromatic. Oh, lost my place. Hold on. Shucks. I lost my place. All right. Wow, we got a lot of questions here. All right, here we go. Moving right through. Question about playing hard. Okay, yeah, we talked about this, Taro. Taro Hood says, I use strong throat vibrato on holes 2 through 5, and I did blow it out. Should I switch to embouchure vibrato to replace it, or what should I do? Well, I mean, you can still use the strong vibrato if you want, but you probably will blow out some harps in general. But maybe just try to tone down that same vibrato a little bit. but you can try all kinds of different vibratos. Just find what comes natural to you. I think for some of us, it actually blends. We actually blend a couple of them for some of us. But yeah, I mean, there's certain players you can just tell right away just from their vibrato. I mean, Chris McCulloch was one that, I mean, immediately. I'd say Howard is another. Big Walter Horton was definitely one for me that I could. Butterfield, right? Or Will Wild, you can immediately tell, Butterfield though, especially. Somebody said coconut oil for the lips. Okay, good. Been letting neighboring holes kind of leak through. Not a full 2-hole, but 7 with a little bit of 6. Sounds better using tongue blocking. Is that a thing? A lot of things sound better using tongue blocking. A lot of them do. And yeah, sure, it's a thing. You can blend any 2 notes that sound right to you. And I mean, it's a diatonic instrument. It's an open-tuned instrument. So depending upon the music or like what key you're in or what position you're in, different areas of the harps are going to have different benefits, right? Like, like in third position, let me pause this for a second. Like in third position, you get the little minor triad right here. And if you go up, you get a 6. So you can get a 6 chord there. So you can do any version of that. So they're called dyads, I found out, just 2-note partial chords. We nicknamed them double stops in the harmonica world. We stole that, I think, from violin players. Right, so that's in third, and then in second, I have different ones. And then up here, I get a 7th. Right, so you get different ones in different positions, and you'll be able to use your ear to absolutely find the ones that sound good, and the ones that don't sound good, you'll know it. One of the things I will say about tongue blocking is you got to be careful when you're slapping in certain positions, because some of those partial chords might not relate so well to the music. Now, you can ignore that and get a nice percussive quality anyway, and even though it doesn't relate to the music, that percussive quality from the tongue blocking slap may override any musical faux pas that you're breaking. So, sometimes the ends justify the means, and sometimes they don't. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Some of you guys are answering each other's questions, which is awesome. Adam West, regarding low octave harps, I really enjoy rockets. Okay, that's just okay. Adam asked me, do you play any low harps, or do you have any suggestions for this problem? Different model, you have any suggestions? Okay, so there's some low harps out there that are really good right away. The Thunderbirds were, designed by Falisco, and we used to have to buy those from Joe, right? Or from his students. And a few other people came along and started doing it too. Those are good. The Suzuki Manji makes some low harps. They're a little cheaper, but they're a little less responsive. But you can work on them to make them as good, and they're different, right? So both of those are good options. I usually play low F sharp, low F, and I play a low E flat sometimes. But I don't really get into I have a low D. It's a beautiful one from Richard Slay. And I don't really play it that much. And I definitely don't go down to the low C's and stuff. And Dennis and some of those guys have been going down to double low C and stuff. And I even hear Dennis bending like the one draw on a low C. I asked him one time, I said, how do you do that? He said, it's like swallowing a golf ball, right? So anyway, you'd think I'd have been able to do that, but I can't. Let me keep going. All right. Check out Joe's interviews with Lee Sankey. That's cool. What's your favorite key to write a song in? That depends on because sometimes I'm thinking about the guitar player, and sometimes I'm thinking about the piano player, and sometimes I'm thinking about my voice. So if it's an instrumental, I'm probably not going to write. Well, that's not true. I write in B flat all the time. So I don't know. I can tell you I don't write much in F because I have a hard time singing in F. And I don't write much in C sharp or D flat or whatever you want to call it, because it's just, or F sharp for that matter. But it doesn't mean I won't someday. Let's see. Maybe it's time to go back to regular hair. We can't have your hair breaking and falling off. It's actually a thing that just happens sometimes with dreads or with any dyed hair. But we're gonna take care of it. We'll nurse it back to health. But no, I'm not cutting them yet. Let's see. I recently bought a low C harp because I ruined the reeds on my C crossover fixing them, but I can get the 2 or 3 draw I'm getting notes. Okay, cool. All right, let's see. Background music is good. Let's put it back on. All right, here we go. All right. Should be coming back on in a minute. All right, some Italian harmonica player? I sure do. I know Monleo, my man. He's just got a new album out with my buddy JJ Appleton, so you can check that out. Monleo is a really good Italian harmonica player, and he just did an album with JJ Appleton. So how cool is that? Mino Lionetti said, "Hey Jason, some Italian." Oh yeah, that's the one I just answered. Sorry, Mino. The bends activate differently, but they're flexible once you get underneath them. Okay, Winslow. Okay. Winslow's books are awesome about Micro wrote. All right, let's see. I gotta go. I lost my place. I'm finding my one. All right. I think I have a lesson coming up pretty soon, guys. So I can't go too long here today. I'm gonna try to get through these as quickly as I can. Let me make sure I don't go over. Let's see. Oh no, we're good. We're good on time. All right. Let's see. Mal says, I hate Sonny Boy 2 for stealing Sonny Boy's name. Can't get over it. I'm over it. Adam West regarding, yeah. All right, I think we already answered it. I do, Alexandra, give lessons online. I give Skype lessons in addition to the free Fridays and the stuff that I do on Patreon. But I am pretty full right now. So you can write me and kind of get on a waiting list, which means you just have to keep writing me, by the way. I don't keep track of it. I should, but I don't. Or you can get with somebody like Winslow, who is available, 100% available. And he might not be as visible as I am, but like I said earlier, when I have questions, I go to Winslow, right? So that's a big one. And they don't have to be me now. The other thing too is it's really important to have a variety of teachers. There are students that eventually I send to Winslow, and there are students that eventually I send to Joe. And I send them there for different things. It's time for you to go study with Joe. It's time for you to study with Constantine. It's time for you to study with Philippe Gers. So their needs are specified in my little world anyway, as being one that can be helped by a particular individual, okay? Just like we might have individual problems, we might go see a therapist that specializes in those issues, right? Or on a more positive note, we might have individual talents, so we go see somebody that specializes in those talents. Anyway, and you're going to click differently with different people. Some people are going to just be like, right away, I get this. Other people aren't going to work for you. My style might be a little too loose for some people, or, knowing me, depends on the day. One day it's too loose. The next day it's too rigid. It's just how I am. I'm crazy. All right, let's see. It's time to go. Regular hair. This is regular hair. All right. It is regular hair. let it go, Winslow. Let it go with the bends on the chromatic. Let it go. You know what I mean. And you know what I mean. Maybe I'm not letting it go. All right. The Florida gig went great. There were 3 of them, and they went great. It was really fun to go on the road with the organ trio. Super fun. Somebody knew what a Koch chromatic on that tune, on that Little Walter song. Oh, hey, Vin, that's awesome. I'm glad you got to see me live for the first time, bro. Oh, you meant orchestral chord, Andrew. Yeah, cool. Yeah, just like, man, I mostly play it at Spa when I go to back other players up in the hallway so that they can jam and I can just practice it. Let's see. Thoughts on the 3rd note of the blues scale? It's not the same note as the minor pentatonic, as it is often presented, correct, or am I off of this? Okay, so the first 3 notes of the blues scale are the first 3 notes of the minor pentatonic. So I don't know if you were talking about the minor 3rd, meaning the 3rd note of the major scale that's flatted, or you're talking about the 3rd note in the blues scale, which would be the 4, because it goes root, minor 3rd, 4, root, flat 3rd, 4, same thing. So I'm not 100% clear on that question. Okay. But so maybe Bob, I know you're on Patreon, bro. Write me personally. Maybe we'll even Skype on it. Okay. And I'll help you out. Let's see. Somebody else is answering that. Okay. Not 100% sure about the tune, but okay. Let's see. You guys are talking to each other. That's awesome. Do I consider myself organized? No, I do not. But I can tell you that Kate is less organized than me. So,
welcome to our world.
So I feel like the king of organized. But if you look back here, I'm clearly a wreck. And in the parts that you can't see are worse. So, I can't get on Kate because I'm just 100 times worse. Right. And I'm also an enabler because it doesn't look that unorganized to me. There's certain things in the house that we call Kate corners. Even those are way more organized than they used to be. So she's getting better. So I'm good.
Listen to all that justification of our
all right. As for Winslow for things, he is the definition of a harmonica encyclopedia. He knows everything about the harmonica. Usually I ask my teacher and friend Todd Parrott when I have questions. Yes, Winslow is the encyclopedia. It is a true story that Google has to reference Winslow for answers. That's true. That's true. So when you search something on Google that has to do with the harmonica, there's a really good chance that your answer is coming from Winslow. Which right there is proof that there's no such thing as facts. All right. Anyway, no, Winslow, he's got reasons behind everything. Howard's new book is good. No convention, non-conventional, but super. He's got me playing faster. It isn't a book of tunes, but of drum rhythms. Yes, I've heard all about it. And so I think I've been doing a lot of that stuff for a while, but I don't know. I don't have the book. I need to check it out. Can you beatbox on the harmonica? What are your thoughts on that? All right. I don't do much of the beatboxing. All right. But I do like some things. So like. So I will be breathing out sometimes to get rid of air and put a percussive noise on it. Right. And a lot of people have copied the way that I do that. That's pretty nice. But I'm nowhere near the beatboxer that like I saw Constantine doing some beatboxing that was ridiculous. Right. Or Son of Dave is really fun. Right. But a bunch of those guys. Yeah. All right. Somebody wrote easy, Jason. I don't know if you're telling me to ease to be more easy, but can you please break down the amount of time you spend playing the lesser used positions, 4th through 12th? Okay. So I play 12th pretty often. I was playing it even today, right in this video. I love 12th, especially for major scale stuff, major pentatonic scale stuff. I'm learning to love it for jazz. Not yet. I'm learning. I haven't found a tremendous amount of use for most songs for 4th and 5th because I like the flat 5 a lot. Even if it's not in the scale, I want to be able to access it easily. And the fact that that note lands on an overblow in some of those positions doesn't lend itself very well to what I want to do on a lot of the kind of music that like gypsy jazz and stuff like that, that it might be a good position for. Now, I've heard people play it really well, but sometimes I'd rather jump through the hoops of playing it in 3rd and get a little bit more of the blues. Now, the other thing is that a lot of times I may start a song in a position. So I may pick up the harp, like a G harp, and I might be thinking it, of the first chord as being in cross, and then the second one as being in first. Right. So, and I'm not even thinking necessarily in terms of positions. What is the root of the chord? Where's its 3rd? Where's its 5th? Where's its 6th? So Michael Peliquin, I used to ask him, and I'd ask Howard and Chris McCulloch. I'd say, hey, what position are you in? And they'd say standing up. And I used to get really mad that they wouldn't tell me the position. And eventually they would, but the thing was they weren't really telling me the truth by giving me the answer that I wanted. Because they might have started in a position, but the rest of the song they're playing in different positions. So when I tell you that I don't play 4th or 5th, that's not true, because I play 4th or 5th all the time in other positions than 4th or 5th. So when that chord comes up where 3 double bend is the root note, well, I'm playing 4th during that chord change. When in 2nd position, when they go to the 6, a lot of times I'm playing in 5th. And like, it's not even a thought of that I'm in 5th position. It's here's the root of the key or of the chord, right? And here's the 3rd and here's the 5th. Here's the notes that relate to it. Where's the major scale from that note, right? How can I find how to play a blues scale in this, right? So sometimes I don't even know what position I'm in. Right now, I know what position I started in, but on that particular chord, I'm not even sure. So that might be an intimidating answer, but it's the truth. And the guys that I asked that question to when I was coming up, Michael and Howard and Joe, they struggled to answer that question for me in a way that I could understand it without having walked through it. So I sort of had to walk through it. A lot of times I'll listen to myself playing and I'm not even sure what position I'm in. So especially if it's a piece of music that like I was just sitting in on or I had never played before. So like I'll finally hear a chord and go, oh yeah, I was in 3rd or I was in 12th there. Hold on, let me stop. All right. We got another backing track coming up here in a minute. Hold on one second. Let's get that going. All right, let me see. How do you do stuff if you are not organized? I live stream lesson gigs all today. I think you are organized. Thanks, Mal. Appreciate that, bro. Let's see. Lynn, you guys talk about the blue 3rd, whether within the blues scale or not, can vary a lot. The minor 3rd on the piano is the closest approximation for instruments that don't have flexible pitch. So what Winslow is talking about there is the blue 3rd is a flat 3rd that's a little sharp, right? Right, Winslow? That's how I play it. little sharp. I'm not. I have not been invited to Germany, and I bet they don't want me back. We'll see what happens. I had a good time in the end. It only took me 1 day to adjust. That was it. I was good. But you guys know what happened, or some of you know what happened. I got stuck at the airport for a few days. But anyway, I can vary both up and down from the minor third. Okay, I didn't know that it wins. Yeah, baby, I made it through all the questions. All right. If I missed your question, type it again because I don't know where it is back there. If I missed it because I was lost. All right, I got to get that OBS software so this stuff starts sounding better. Yeah, that was fun. I know it doesn't sound as good over there as it does here, but that was fun. Geez, during that time, everybody asked a million questions. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. Mr. Super Sidewinder said I posted a relative minor question. But what was it, Super Sidewinder? What was the relative minor question? And sorry I missed it. And cool name. Sidewinders are awesome snakes. If you study Little Walter, is it all about what's that, Kate?
That is how Sidewinder would ask a question.
She said that is how a Sidewinder would ask a question. To do it the way that Mr. Sidewinder did. L.C. Williams on the 3 double bend. I like to use a little Howard Levy jaw vibrato. You don't have to. I like that. But you put a little hand vibrato like Big Walter. That's pretty cool too. You could even do that with an amp. No, man, I cut heads with anybody, bro. And I'll be happy to. There's a million people I would lose to cutting heads with. Right? That's just technique. You know what? It's not just technique. They can kill you with one note. It's fun. Man, I think there's nothing wrong with a little friendly competition, man. Come on. Canada loves you, Jason. Air Canada is a jerk, though. Canada may love me, but the Queen does not. That's why I cannot go to Canada. I'm not allowed in the whole country of Canada, England, South Africa, New Zealand, or Australia. If a self-taught beginner harp player wants to feel or be intermediate, what are the technical benchmarks of the instrument? Okay, I would say the first thing is first learn to get good tone. So you want to have as much of the harmonica in your mouth as possible. You want that, right? And then you can do that lip pursing too. I was tongue blocking there, but so you just have to. So I'm lip pursing, but it's that was tongue blocking. They're missing the little slap. good tone is the first thing. The second thing is learn every bend that you can do and where they go. So it might be good to learn a chromatic scale, even if you can't play it, or learn a major scale, even if you in second, and then just learn the layout of where the notes are, and then how to bend them and stuff. I think that's a good start. Let's see. Mr. Super Sidewinder says, scroll back a little. Bro, if I scroll, oh man. Is it hard to ask the question again? I'm sidewinding. I'm scrolling back, Miss. Okay, I see Mr. Super Sidewinder wrote, hi, you good people. All right, was it before that or after? I don't know. I'm going back. Man, I asked you to just write it again if it wasn't too much trouble so I wouldn't get lost. All right. I'm scrolling. I'm looking for it. You realize there's like 300,000 comments here that I have to pull it out of, right? All right. I'm not doing it, bro. Sorry. You're going to ask it again, man. Ask the question again and I'll answer it. All right. Sorry, bro. Okay, let's see. For 3 draw bends and for any bend, you'll find full tone on the unbent note and carry it down with your bend. Yeah. It won't be the same tone color, but it can be just as fun with full practice. That's what Winslow was saying about the bends. Thanks, Winslow, for that piano keyboard G harp answer further up. I wanted to second an earlier shout out for Winslow. CK says, I make the rules. All right, Mr. Super Sidewinder. Look at that. CK told me I can make the rules. How is Joe Crown doing? Joe's great. Joe is great. He's better than ever. I'm playing tonight with him. I got 3 lessons and a gig. I normally don't like doing lessons before a gig, but we're making an exception today. And I'm going to have great lessons and a great gig. You guys are the best. Other than Paganini, are there any other classical pieces you could play and recommend? I learned that minuet in G, right? And that's easy. That's a good one. It's a good first position one. Anyway, yeah, I learned that. That's a good one to learn. I learned a little. At one time, I knew most of Furley's. And then at one time, I knew I don't think it's called the bridge. But I learned the bridge. My boyfriend actually taught me the bridge at that time. And I learned it. That was one of the only things we ever did musically together was he showed me some classical pieces he thought I might be able to figure out. He was a classical pianist. Is a classical pianist, not for a living anymore, but very good. It was really fun waking up to that every morning. He used to play every morning and for like an hour. And he never stopped. And then he would just go do his day. And his day had nothing else to do with music. It was really, really cool. Yeah, there's, man, some of the Howard Beethoven stuff is ridiculous. You know, Winslow can play a lot of classical